Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop? Living each day knowing you're meant for more, yet nothing changes? What if success isn't something you stumble upon, but something you build, layer by layer, decision by decision? And what if the only thing standing between who you are now and who you're meant to be is one powerful choice? If you feel like your current life doesn't reflect your true potential, it's time to rebuild. Transformation doesn't arrive by chance. It's something you construct deliberately, piece by piece. The successful version of you isn't waiting somewhere out there to be found. It has to be built, and you're the builder. Most people spend years waiting for the right moment to begin. But that perfect time, it never comes. If you want success, if you crave growth and purpose, then you must become the kind of person who earns those things. Rebuilding yourself isn't easy. It takes effort, discomfort, and grit. But do you know what's harder? Staying the same. Because the cost of staying where you are is far greater than the struggle to evolve. So ask yourself, who do you want to become? Choose, then begin. In the next few moments, you'll discover how to rebuild your identity from the inside out and how to become the kind of person that success is actually searching for. It all starts with one thing: the power of decision. Every great accomplishment begins with a single, unwavering choice. Just one decision, clear, intentional, and rooted in purpose, can reshape your path, rewrite your story, and build an empire from the ashes of failure. Every towering success, every impactful leader, every revolutionary thinker, each began with a moment of truth. A moment where they pushed aside hesitation and locked their mind onto a clear and undeniable purpose. Take Milton Hershey, for example. Born in 1857 into a life marked by poverty and early disappointment, his beginnings were anything but easy. He faced repeated failures in business. But what he held onto wasn't luck. It wasn't raw talent. It was decision, an unshakable inner resolve. In a world that gave him every reason to quit, he declared to himself that he would rise. And he did. Long before the chocolate empire, long before the fame, there was just a man who decided to never give up. That moment of inner certainty, that quiet decision to build something that mattered, was the spark that ignited his journey. Hershey's success didn't begin in a factory. It began in his mind. He understood a simple truth. True change begins the moment you replace doubt with conviction. Once your vision is clear and your heart refuses to retreat, the world has no choice but to move with you. His story isn't about chance. It's about the fire of decision. That moment is the turning point. That fire is where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Mr. Hershey's legacy didn't begin with achievement. It began with a decision, and that single choice made all the difference. Too many people drift through life without ever making theirs. Too many people wait for the perfect timing, the ideal circumstances, or someone else's approval. They stall, overthink, and slowly drift away from the life they were meant to live. But here's the truth. No man ever drifted into greatness. No woman ever stumbled into lasting success without first making a firm declaration. This is what I want, and I will demand it of myself. A true decision isn't a passing wish or a vague hope. It's not something you whisper quietly and forget the next morning. A real decision is a command, issued from within, backed by discipline, and followed through with unshakable action. That's the secret most people miss. Your power doesn't come from your circumstances, your education, or your upbringing. It comes from your ability to choose, boldly, clearly, and without hesitation. When your mind is truly made up, when every part of you is aligned with your direction, life begins to shift in response. The universe respects decisiveness. Why? Because decisiveness signals the presence of a mind that refuses to quit, a mind that will not fold under pressure. Many people have talent. Many have resources. Some even have golden opportunities dropped in their lap. And yet, they still fall short because they lack the courage to decide. They remain stuck in endless loops of uncertainty, second-guessing every move, paralyzed by the fear of failure. But failure? It only holds power over those who haven't decided. Once you choose a path with clarity, real clarity, and you commit to it fully, failure no longer stops you. It becomes a stepping stone, not a barrier, not the end, just one part of your ascent. You must commit, not halfway, not cautiously dipping your toes in, but completely. Burn the ships. Leave no way back. Let retreat be impossible. Set your eyes on your vision. Hold it in your mind like fire, and move toward it with everything you have. Because life doesn't deny the one who has truly decided that something will be done. Life bends for the bold. It opens doors for the committed. And the moment you make that decision, really make it, you begin to reshape your entire reality. The people you meet, the chances that appear, the energy around you, everything starts to align. It all begins to change. The choice is yours. And once you make it fully and fearlessly, your life will never be the same. Courage, when paired with clarity, holds the extraordinary power to shape a future far beyond anything you've ever imagined. Let your decision be more than a passing thought. Let it be your turning point, the spark that propels your greatness forward. Choose and then don't look back, because once you've chosen with conviction, the only direction that matters is forward. 2. Cultivating resilience amidst challenges. Every meaningful achievement in human history was born through struggle. Behind every celebrated moment of greatness is a series of trials, setbacks, and failures that most never see. Greatness is not given freely. It must be earned in the fire. It is forged in the crucible of adversity and proven only in the face of repeated defeat. The road to success is never a straight line. It twists, it turns, it breaks you down, only to build you stronger. It demands resilience, the kind of inner strength that refuses to be crushed by temporary defeat. It calls for a vision that refuses to die, even when the storms rage and the path disappears beneath your feet. Take William Carter, for instance. He faced bankruptcy, not once, but multiple times. His early ventures collapsed under pressure. His name carried no weight in the world of business. In the eyes of many, he was a man destined to vanish into obscurity. Creditors doubted him. His reputation was scarred. But what set Mr. Carter apart wasn't wealth. It wasn't education. And it certainly wasn't luck. It was mindset. He refused to see failure as the end. Every time he fell, he made the choice to rise, not with bitterness, not with regret, but with renewed clarity and a sharpened strategy. While others saw setbacks as roadblocks, he saw them as signs, signals that pointed him toward growth and refinement. Each mistake became a mentor. Each obstacle was an opportunity disguised in difficulty. And every closed door simply made him look harder for the right one waiting nearby. Instead of fearing adversity, he studied it. He learned. He adapted. And step by step, loss after loss, lesson after lesson, William Carter laid the foundation of one of the most powerful retail empires in the nation. His triumph didn't happen despite failure. It happened through failure. Because life won't just test you once. It will test you again and again, sometimes subtly, sometimes with force, but always with purpose. It won't always come gently. Life, at times, will strike hard. It will shake your confidence, question your belief in yourself, and push your endurance to its very edge. Your dreams will be tested and then tested again. Over and over, life will ask you the same question. Are you still willing to keep going? Most people give up. Most turn back when the road gets rough. But those who understand the true essence of resilience, they do not bow. They don't shrink in the face of pressure. They transform. Because resilience doesn't mean the absence of hardship. It's not about having an easy life. It's about defiance. It's about the refusal to let circumstances write your story. Real resilience takes failure and turns it into fuel. It transforms doubt into drive and fear into razor-sharp focus. It's not just about surviving the blow. It's about using the impact as a springboard to rise higher, to push further, to dig even deeper when most would stop. That is where the power lies. William Carter's story was never just about business. It was about belief, about the unshakable conviction that refusing to quit changes everything. His journey is a blueprint of endurance, a living testament to the fact that strength is not born in comfort, but forged in persistence. His example teaches us that pain can be turned into purpose and that struggle can give birth to strategy. Every time you meet resistance, you are faced with a decision. Will you retreat or rise? Will you shrink or evolve? Because every challenge you face is offering you something greater than comfort. It's offering you the opportunity to become unshakable. And the greater the opposition, the greater your potential to grow. There is no smooth path to greatness. The climb is never effortless. The struggle is the staircase. Let it shape you. Let your challenges carve strength into your spirit. Let your pain become your teacher. Each disappointment isn't the end of your journey. It's part of the forging of your character. No storm lasts forever. No future is final unless you choose to let it be. There's strength being formed in your persistence, clarity being born in your chaos, and victory being prepared in the depths of your pain. Because endurance, that fierce decision to keep going even when everything inside you wants to quit, is the price of greatness. And when you move forward despite the fear, despite the pressure, despite the doubt, you send a message to the world. You cannot be broken. The triumphs of tomorrow are waiting on the other side of that decision, purely shaped by the persistence you show today. So, embrace your challenges. Don't run from them. Welcome adversity when it arrives, because it will not break you. Instead, it will sharpen your will, test your limits, and strengthen your sense of purpose. Stand tall, even when it hurts. Push forward, especially when it feels impossible. Because in the end, it's not talent, not money, and not chance that separates the great from the forgotten. It is resilience. It is the quiet, relentless force of not giving up. And those who refuse to quit, they are the ones who ultimately rise. 3. Building unshakable self-belief. Self-belief is the engine that drives your journey from dream to reality. Without it, even the most brilliant ideas can crumble under the pressure of doubt. But with it, even the most far-fetched ambitions begin to take shape, step by step. The truth is, the world doesn't hand you what you wish for. It responds to who you are, and, even more powerfully, to who you believe yourself to be. So ask yourself, who do you see when you look in the mirror of your mind? Margaret Linfield began her career in a storm of rejection. Her performances were dismissed, her appearance was criticized, and her name was often forgotten in casting rooms overflowing with louder voices and longer resumes. She had every excuse to give up. The industry offered her failure, and then failure again. But Margaret clung to something no one could take away from her: belief. She believed in her talent, even when no one clapped. She trusted in her vision, even when every door seemed to slam shut in her face. And that belief, it became her anchor. It held her steady when everything around her felt uncertain. It gave her strength when she was tempted to walk away. Year after year, she kept going, through obscurity, through disappointment, through silence, until one day, the world could no longer ignore what she had always known within herself. Margaret Linfield became one of the most celebrated actresses of her generation, not because she was spared hardship, but because she never let rejection redefine who she was. Her self-belief didn't just survive the struggle, it grew because of it. And that is the secret. Your greatest ally in life is not applause, or luck, or timing. It's belief. Belief in yourself, especially when it's hardest to hold. Believe in yourself. Not because you are flawless, but because you possess the power to choose what you believe. That's your superpower. When you look into the mirror and choose to see someone worthy of success, someone capable and resilient, the world begins to reflect that image back to you. But when self-doubt creeps in, when you question your value, suddenly, even golden opportunities feel just out of reach. Not because they aren't there, but because you no longer believe you deserve them. Self-doubt is invisible, but its impact is real. It's the silent barrier that has stopped more dreams than failure ever could. That's why your mind must become more than just a place of thoughts. It must become a sanctuary, a space where belief is not only protected, but actively nurtured. A space where confidence is not merely felt, but spoken out loud and reinforced each day. Say it to yourself, not once, but over and over. I am capable. I am worthy. I am becoming. These aren't just motivational slogans. They're seeds, and what you plant in your mind, with time and care, you will inevitably harvest in your life. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's not pretending to be perfect or fearless. It is alignment. It is the quiet, grounded understanding of who you are, what you carry, and what you are meant to create in this world. It doesn't mean you'll never feel afraid. It means fear doesn't get to sit in the driver's seat. It means showing up even on the days you feel small, because deep down, you know that those small, consistent steps eventually build unstoppable momentum. Margaret Linfield's triumph didn't come in a flash of fame. It was constructed slowly, moment by moment, through years of inner work, rejection, and an unwavering belief in her path. Her journey teaches us something powerful. Belief is not a luxury. It's a necessity, and that same power, that same potential, lives in you. The world isn't waiting for someone perfect. It's waiting for someone real. Someone who knows exactly who they are and dares to walk boldly in that truth. So affirm your worth, own your vision, and when setbacks appear, don't interpret them as signals to quit. See them as proof that your path is meaningful. Because no one climbs without friction. No one grows without resistance. Those who rise do so on the unshakable foundation of belief. So believe, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. Don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait for more certainty. The time is now. Your destiny is not shaped by your circumstances. It is shaped by your certainty. Declare it. Live it. Become it. You are more powerful than you've ever imagined. And the day you truly believe that, everything begins to change. The moment you truly believe, that's the moment everything begins to shift. 4. The power of definite purpose. Having a clear, definite purpose is more than setting a goal. It's like switching on a magnetic force within you. Something that pulls you forward again and again, through resistance, through failure, through uncertainty, always in the direction of a desired destination. A definite purpose isn't a wish. It's not a vague hope. It is a guiding force, deep, unwavering, and personal. It shapes your daily decisions. It fuels your persistence. It gives your vision power. Without it, even the brightest minds can burn out, chasing everything and achieving nothing. They end up scattered, exhausted by constant effort, but with little to show for it. But with it, even the most ordinary person can achieve truly extraordinary results. Take Thomas Griffin, a towering figure in industry. His work transformed entire communities, brought prosperity to forgotten towns, and became the foundation of generational wealth. But if you asked him where his success came from, he'd point to one thing. Not luck, not timing, not even hard work. He'd say it was clarity of purpose. Long before the factories, long before the profits, there was a vision, sharply defined and deeply personal. Griffin knew what he wanted to build, and more importantly, he knew why it mattered. That purpose wasn't a dream floating in the clouds. It was anchored in conviction. It became his compass when everything around him was chaos. When markets collapsed, when competitors folded, when the economy trembled, Griffin remained grounded. He didn't chase trends. He didn't panic, because his purpose wasn't shaken by external noise. It was rooted deep within. That clarity gave him direction when others were lost in doubt. It gave him momentum when others froze in fear. While others guessed, he executed. While they wavered, he moved with precision. Purpose silences hesitation. Your definite purpose becomes your personal North Star. It doesn't just guide you when the path is clear. It leads you when everything is dark. It tells you where to focus your energy, where to pour your time, and just as importantly, what to walk away from. Without it, your efforts become scattered, your energy diluted. But with it, everything aligns. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Every decision becomes part of a bigger picture. When your mind stops wandering and your heart stops hesitating, that's when you know your purpose is clear. And Thomas Griffin, he didn't need to be the loudest or the luckiest. He had something more powerful, purpose, and it made all the difference. Thomas Griffin didn't just define his purpose once and forget it. He lived it, breathed it, and carried it with him every single day. He wrote it down, not just once, but often. He read it aloud to himself daily. He shared it with his team so they could align with his vision. His purpose wasn't just a sentence on a wall. It was a force, a living, breathing compass that shaped how he thought, how he worked, and how he led others. It gave his actions meaning. It gave his days direction. And most of all, it inspired deep loyalty in those around him. Because when a person is driven by something clear and unshakable, people naturally follow. Without clarity of purpose, the world will choose your direction for you. You'll say yes to things that don't align. You'll chase distractions that pull you off course. You'll end up spending your energy reacting, responding to whatever comes your way, instead of building something that lasts. But with clarity, everything shifts. You become magnetic. People sense your focus. They see your consistency. Opportunities start to align because your energy becomes focused and intentional. When you're clear, the chaos quiets and energy returns. So define your life's purpose clearly and passionately. Don't settle for vague goals or fuzzy dreams. Get specific. What are you really here to do? Who are you becoming? What kind of impact do you want to leave behind? Write it down. Speak it aloud. Let it move from your thoughts into your actions. Feel it deep in your bones. Let it live in your habits, your routines, and your decisions. And then act. Let that purpose become your guide. Let it shape what you say yes to. Let it give you the courage to walk away from what doesn't serve you. Let it carry you through difficulty, knowing that every step, even the hard ones, are part of something greater. Purpose doesn't remove the pain of sacrifice. It gives that pain meaning. It transforms discomfort into growth. It makes discipline bearable, even beautiful, because you understand what you're building. Purpose makes setbacks tolerable because you're not wandering, you're advancing. Every step has direction. Purposeful living is the foundation of all extraordinary achievement. It won't make the journey easy, but it will make it worth it. Because when you live on purpose, effort becomes legacy, struggle becomes story, and success becomes inevitable. When your life is aligned with a definite purpose, things start to connect. Your past makes sense, your present feels driven, and your future begins to take shape. Every chapter flows into the next because there's a thread holding it all together. So don't wait for purpose to find you. Decide it. Declare it. The power is already within you. The clarity is already within reach. And once you define it, nurture it, protect it, live by it. Let your purpose become the standard, the unwavering measure by which you evaluate every action, every decision, and every step forward. Because in the end, success is not defined by how quickly you move or how much you accumulate. It's not about speed or numbers. True success is about alignment with your why. It's about staying connected to the reason you began in the first place. And the one who walks with purpose, they walk with power, with clarity, with calm confidence. Let your purpose lead you. Let it pull you forward, especially on the days when motivation fades. And if you do, watch how the world begins to shift, how doors open, how people notice, how your path becomes unmistakably yours. 5. Harnessing passion to fuel success. Passion is the flame that transforms ordinary effort into joyful pursuit. It turns obstacles into opportunities and work into something more than a checklist. Passion is the emotional engine that breathes life into your purpose and meaning into your mission. Without passion, your efforts begin to feel mechanical, lifeless. Days blur into routine. Life becomes a to-do list, not a journey. But when passion fuels your movement, everything changes. Every step feels alive. Every challenge becomes a chance to rise. Passion makes even the difficult days feel worthwhile. Look at the life of Laura Simmons. She wasn't born into privilege. She didn't inherit power or influence. Her place in history as a pioneer in educational reform wasn't handed to her. She earned it through hardship, through relentless dedication, and most of all, through passion. From the earliest days of her career, Laura held a powerful belief that education wasn't just about information. It was about transformation, not just for individuals, but for entire communities and generations. Her classrooms weren't just rooms with desks and books. They were sanctuaries, safe, empowering spaces where young minds could flourish. While others clung to outdated methods, Laura broke the mold. While others saw limitations in the system, she saw potential waiting to be unlocked. Her passion was never passive. It was bold. It radiated from her. It ignited conversations, changed minds, and moved people. Parents listened. Teachers followed. Children thrived. What set Laura Simmons apart wasn't simply her vision. It was the fire behind it. That inner flame pushed her to work long hours, often unnoticed and uncelebrated. But she didn't do it for applause. She did it because she believed deeply, passionately, and without compromise. And that belief, that passion, it created waves of change that echoed far beyond the walls of her classroom. Laura Simmons faced immense resistance. Critics questioned her ideas. Traditionalists pushed back. She was dismissed, doubted, and often met with hostility from the very system she was trying to improve. But she never wavered. What gave her that strength? It was passion. Passion gave her stamina when exhaustion tried to take over. Passion gave her courage when opposition grew louder. Passion even gave her joy in the very effort that might have drained someone else. Where others might have burned out, she burned brighter. That's the true gift of passion. It makes your work feel like purpose, and your purpose feel like joy. It gives meaning to the grind, energy to the challenge, and grace to the process. Passion doesn't erase hardship, but it does change your relationship with it. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones. It reframes struggle as an invitation to grow. So what ignites that fire inside you? That spark you feel when you're moved, angered, or inspired? It's not random. It's your compass. Pay attention to it. Notice what excites you. Notice what you can't stop thinking about. Inside those moments lie the roots of your mission. When you find something that stirs your soul, don't tiptoe toward it. Run, dive in. Give yourself to it with full commitment. Because the world doesn't need more people playing it safe. It needs people on fire with purpose. Laura Simmons didn't revolutionize education because she was chasing fame. She did it because she had to. It was who she was. Her work wasn't separate from her. It was her. That kind of alignment is rare. And it's powerful. It makes you magnetic. People feel when someone is truly lit up from within. They're drawn to it. Passion wakes people up. It reminds them of their own forgotten spark, the dreams they buried, the energy they lost, the fire they once felt. Let your passion guide you. Let it shape your decisions. Let it carry you through the hardest parts of your mission. Let it whisper to you in moments of doubt. This is why you started. Let it inspire others, not just with your words, but with your presence, your example, your energy. Because passionate individuals don't simply dream, they act. They build. They transform the world around them. They don't wait for permission, they move. And in doing so, they leave a legacy that outlives them. So ask yourself, what sets your soul on fire? What work would you keep doing, even if no one ever applauded? Ask yourself, what would you fight for, even if no one noticed? What cause would you stand behind, even in the face of resistance, doubt, or silence? That is your calling. That is your power. The world doesn't need more people simply going through the motions, checking boxes, or chasing approval. It needs people who are fully alive, people with purpose in their eyes and fire in their hearts, people who dare to care and care deeply, people who act boldly, not because it's easy, but because it matters. Passion isn't optional. It's not a luxury to be indulged when the timing is right. It's essential. It is the invisible line between existing and impacting, between merely surviving and truly inspiring. Let your passion be your power. Let it lift you when you're tired. Let it lead you when the way forward isn't clear. Let it shape your actions and leave behind something better than what was there before. The importance of continuous learning. If there's one trait every truly great achiever shares, it's this: they never stop learning. Every leader I've ever known who left a lasting legacy was a lifelong student. Constantly curious, constantly growing. The most successful people aren't always the ones who are the most naturally gifted, but they're always the ones most committed to growth. They never say, "I know enough." Instead, they treat every day as a fresh opportunity to expand their thinking, to sharpen their skills, to deepen their understanding of the world and themselves. Jonathan Harris is a perfect example. His name wasn't associated with wealth or privilege in his early years. He didn't rise through elite schools or inherit influence. What he did have, though, was an unrelenting curiosity. One so powerful, it became his greatest advantage. From humble beginnings, Jonathan didn't approach learning as a duty. He approached it as a passion. He read voraciously. He asked questions others were too afraid to ask. And he surrounded himself with mentors, people who challenged his ideas, stretched his thinking, and pushed him beyond comfort. Over time, that quiet obsession with knowledge led him to discoveries that transformed his field. He wasn't an overnight success. He didn't rely on shortcuts or gimmicks. His breakthroughs were the result of a deeper discipline, the decision to grow a little every single day. Jonathan understood something most people overlook. The world is constantly changing. And if you're not learning, you're falling behind. Only those who commit to evolving, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, can truly keep pace with progress. This story proves that greatness doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from the willingness to keep becoming. Jonathan's relentless pursuit of knowledge opened doors that others couldn't even see. Where most people encounter barriers, he discovered new paths. While others saw only limitations, he uncovered possibilities because he held on to something they had let go of: the decision to keep learning. He understood a powerful truth, one most people forget. Education doesn't end with a diploma. In fact, it truly begins the moment you step beyond the walls of formal schooling. The classroom may equip you with the basics, but it's life that puts your learning to the test. It's life that challenges your adaptability, measures your hunger for growth, and reveals your willingness to evolve. Every book you pick up, every conversation you dive into, every obstacle you reflect on, all of it contributes to your continuing education. Each moment is a lesson if you're willing to learn from it. So adopt the mindset of perpetual growth. Treat your mind like a muscle. Use it and it grows. Neglect it and it weakens. Learning doesn't stop when you become competent in one area. It accelerates when you start exploring others. Don't just master your field, step beyond it. Why? Because creativity often emerges from the unexpected collision of diverse ideas. When you step outside your comfort zone, when you immerse yourself in topics, perspectives, and disciplines that challenge your thinking, you gain a powerful edge. And continuous learning isn't just about sharpening your mind. It's magnetic. It draws opportunity toward you. Employers seek learners. Collaborators seek thinkers. Innovators are drawn to people who are curious, open, and informed. The world opens its arms to those who stay prepared. And preparation, more often than not, starts with a simple daily question. What else can I learn today? For Jonathan Harris, that wasn't just a mindset, it was a discipline. Every day, he committed to learning something new. Whether it was a complex scientific theory, a timeless philosophical truth, or a practical skill he could apply immediately, he fed his curiosity like clockwork. Over the years, that daily habit compounded. And like compound interest, the rewards multiplied. His learning became his competitive advantage. His mind, a well-tended garden, cultivated with care, intention, and persistence. The fruits of that labor? Unmistakable, because in any field and at any stage of life, the greatest edge you can give yourself is a commitment to continuous learning. It's not just about gaining knowledge. It's about developing the mindset that says, I'm not finished. I can still grow. And that mindset, it fosters something rare and powerful, humility. Because the more you know, the more you realize there's always more to learn. The more you learn, the more you begin to grasp just how much remains undiscovered. This realization doesn't discourage, it humbles you. It opens your eyes and your heart to growth. It nurtures resilience because every new skill becomes one more tool in your arsenal, one more way to adapt when life shifts unexpectedly. And it builds confidence. Why? Because knowledge brings clarity. It quiets uncertainty. It gives you the ability to move forward with purpose, knowing that your decisions are rooted in understanding, not guesswork. So pursue knowledge with intention. Read widely. Explore beyond your comfort zone. Ask bold questions without shame. Listen not just to reply, but to understand. Reflect deeply on what you learn, and let those insights shape you. The path of lifelong learning isn't linear. Some days you leap forward, other days you stumble. But it is always rewarding. It transforms the average into exceptional. It turns raw potential into lasting mastery. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Protect it. Invest in it. Feed it daily. Let it grow stronger through practice, challenge, and curiosity. Because the future will belong to those who never stop growing. Let your life be living proof that learning is power. That knowledge is freedom. And when you make the decision to stay a student forever, you also unlock your capacity to lead anywhere, anytime, in any field. So keep learning, keep stretching, keep becoming. Because the journey, it's only just begun. Positive attitude as your greatest asset. There is one force that can shape your reality more than almost anything else: your mental attitude. Your mindset is the lens through which you interpret every moment, every challenge, and every opportunity. It is the inner voice that either builds you up or breaks you down. It can become your greatest strength or your biggest saboteur. You may not be able to control every circumstance in life, but you can always control how you respond. And that response, chosen over and over again, defines the course and quality of your life. Look at Helen Keller, a woman who was struck deaf and blind by illness before the age of 2. Imagine the world she faced, one of silence, of darkness, of isolation. Yet she chose not to surrender. She chose not to let her physical condition define her destiny. With the guidance of her extraordinary teacher and Sullivan, and the fire of her own unbreakable spirit, Helen made a bold choice. She chose optimism over despair. Her positive mental attitude became the foundation upon which she built a remarkable life. A life that continues to inspire generations. Helen Keller didn't allow her limitations to crush her dreams. She refused to let her challenges diminish her ambition. Instead, she rose. And eventually, she became the first deaf and blind person to earn a college degree, at a time when even seeing and hearing women struggle for access. Blind person to earn a college degree. She published books that touched millions and tirelessly championed the rights of those without a voice. Through it all, her mind remained open, curious, hungry, resilient. She showed the world a simple but powerful truth. It is not adversity that determines your future, it is your attitude. A positive attitude opens doors where others see only walls. It creates possibilities where others see dead ends. It attracts opportunities, fosters deep and lasting relationships, and builds a presence so magnetic that it lifts everyone around you. Negativity, on the other hand, pushes progress away. But positivity, true, resilient, intentional positivity, draws it in. People are naturally drawn to those who uplift, not those who weigh down. They want to work with, support, and elevate those who carry light into the room. Your attitude, in every situation, determines how others perceive you, whether you become a burden to avoid or a beacon to follow. But cultivating a positive mindset doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It doesn't mean ignoring pain or denying reality. It means choosing hope, even when everything around you screams otherwise. It means looking for solutions instead of surrendering to setbacks. It means finding strength in the struggle and wisdom in the hardship. It's the decision to choose gratitude over grievance, even when life feels unfair. Helen Keller once said, "Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it." That sentence, simple and profound, captures the heart of a powerful attitude. She didn't sugarcoat pain, she transcended it. And by doing so, she proved that when a human spirit is aligned with courage and positivity, it becomes unstoppable. So how do you build that kind of mindset? You practice it daily. Positivity is not a mood, it's a discipline, as vital as any technical skill, as essential as any talent. Start with gratitude, not as a passing thought, but as a deliberate, grounded practice. Each morning, before the noise begins, name 3 things you're thankful for. Speak them aloud. Let them anchor you. When stress hits, pause. Don't just react. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Let every difficulty become an invitation to grow. Surround yourself with people who lift your energy, not drain it. Seek out conversations that stretch your thinking, content that inspires your heart, and environments that encourage your vision. And most importantly, speak words that reflect the world you want to build, not just the one you see. Reinforce your inner strength by intentionally fostering a mindset of positivity. When you cultivate this internal climate, you create more than just a good mood. You build an environment where success and happiness can naturally take root and flourish. Your energy becomes clearer, more focused. Creativity begins to flow in ways it never has before. Your ability to recover from setbacks, your resilience, deepens. You stop reacting impulsively to life's challenges. Instead, you start responding with clarity, wisdom, and intention. And in that conscious response, you reclaim your power. Always remember, your attitude shapes your destiny far more than external conditions ever could. The chaos around you may be loud, but your mind can be louder. You can rise despite uncertainty. You can grow even when surrounded by limitation. You can thrive, not because life is easy, but because your mindset is strong enough to transform obstacles into stepping stones. The world doesn't owe you comfort, but it does respond to your perspective. A strong, positive attitude doesn't just change how you feel about life. It changes what life brings to you. So choose positivity, not just once, not just when it's convenient, but every single day. Let it become your armor in uncertain times. Let it be the fire that keeps you moving forward when the path disappears. Let it be the legacy you leave behind, just like Helen Keller did. Because in the end, it's not what happens to you that defines your story. It's how you choose to face it. And with the right attitude, there is truly nothing you cannot overcome. Embracing adaptability for success. Change is not optional. It is a constant. And in the fast-paced world we live in, success doesn't go to those who resist change. It goes to those who embrace it, respond to it, and use it as fuel for evolution. History has shown us something profound. The individuals who endure the longest, rise the highest, and leave the deepest marks are not always the strongest. They are not always the most intelligent. They're the ones who adapt. The world moves quickly. Economies shift. Technologies evolve. Trends fade in and out of relevance. The question has never been if change will come. It will. The real question is, how will you respond when it does? Consider the story of Joseph Montgomery, a renowned businessman whose path to success didn't follow a straight line. His career spanned several decades. I once asked Joseph Montgomery how he managed to keep his enterprise not just afloat, but thriving during one of the most devastating economic downturns of his time. His answer was clear and powerful: adaptability. While others clung desperately to outdated strategies, hoping the storm would pass and the market would return to normal, Joseph made a different decision. He didn't resist the change. He studied it. He anticipated it. And most importantly, he moved with it. When others hesitated, he pivoted. When others shut their doors, he opened new ones. That mindset, one grounded in agility and foresight, transformed what could have been a fatal crisis into a turning point. Adaptability, Joseph told me, is not merely about survival. It's about transformation. It's about asking, what is possible now, instead of holding tightly to what once worked. His ability to stay calm, stay observant, and stay flexible gave him a crucial edge. While others mourned the loss of what had been, he redirected his energy toward what could be. As markets collapsed, Joseph took action. He restructured his systems, rebranded his message, and relaunched his company, leaner, sharper, and more relevant than ever before. To adapt is to lead. It means staying open to new ideas, embracing unfamiliar technologies, and being willing to experiment with new methods. Adaptability requires humility, the courage to admit when something is no longer effective. It also demands boldness, the willingness to take risks, even at the cost of potential failure. But perhaps most importantly, it requires speed, because in moments of transition, those who hesitate too long often miss their window. Flexibility is not weakness. It is power. The rigid, they break. But the flexible, they bend, adjust, endure, and ultimately outlast. When you train your mind to expect change, something incredible happens. You stop fearing it. You stop resisting it. Instead, you begin to see it as fuel for growth, as a signal that new momentum is available if you're willing to respond. Joseph Montgomery wasn't the biggest player in his industry. He wasn't backed by the most capital or connected to the most powerful people. But he became one of the most influential voices in his field. Why? Because he refused to be stagnant. He didn't lead with nostalgia. He led with vision. He challenged his team to innovate, to question outdated assumptions, and to constantly seek better, smarter, more efficient ways forward. That internal culture of adaptability became Joseph Montgomery's greatest asset, not just in times of crisis, but as a long-term competitive advantage. And you must build the same within yourself. Stay open-minded, stay alert, be willing to shift your strategy when a landscape changes. Learn continuously, not just from books or mentors, but from life itself. Observe patterns, read the signals, be quick to respond to evolving circumstances. Because in today's world, the faster you adapt, the more doors open before you. The more you resist, the more you suffer. But understand this, adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your core values. It's not about giving up who you are. It means discovering new ways to express those values more effectively in a changing world. It doesn't mean surrendering your goals. It means being flexible in the path you take to reach them. The destination remains. The route evolves. Those who merely adapt may survive. But those who embrace change, enthusiastically, with curiosity and creativity, flourish. They rise above the crowd. They move faster than competitors. They reinvent themselves as often as needed, becoming not just relevant, but remarkable. So train your mind not to fear change, but to flow with it. Let go of the anxiety that clings to the unknown. Replace it with curiosity, because with every shift in your environment comes a fresh opportunity to grow, to lead, to serve, and to succeed at a higher level. The future does not belong to the rigid. It belongs to the adaptable, to those who understand that success is never built on static foundations. It's built on flexible structures, systems, habits, strategies that can bend, adjust, and evolve without breaking. So be like Joseph Montgomery. See the change before it arrives. Respond quickly. Act wisely. Move with clarity and courage. Never stop evolving. Because in the ever-changing world of life and business, adaptability is no longer just an advantage. It's everything. True success is deeply tied to the value you bring to others. It isn't simply about accumulation, applause, or achievements that shine on paper. It's about impact. It's about leaving a lasting imprint on the lives of those around you. The most fulfilled individuals in this world are not the ones who take the most. They're the ones who give the most. They understand a profound truth. Real prosperity is not built on what you acquire, but on what you contribute. Andrew Powell, a philanthropist and entrepreneur of rare integrity, often shared that his wealth and influence were never the goal. They were simply byproducts of a life centered on service. Coming from humble beginnings, Andrew built a thriving enterprise, but he never made profit the destination. His focus was always bigger than numbers. He poured his energy into nonprofit initiatives, education development, and community upliftment. For Andrew, success was rooted in contribution. He believed and proved that when you dedicate yourself to improving the lives of others, you unlock a different kind of abundance. Doors open that money alone could never force. Loyalty deepens. Trust flourishes. Reputation expands. And the sense of fulfillment that comes. It's immeasurable. He lived by one powerful principle. Leave everyone you meet better than you found them. And this wasn't just a nice saying. It was a daily practice that guided everything he did. In meetings, he listened, truly listened, not just to respond, but to understand. In decisions, he looked beyond short-term gain and considered the long-term impact on families, teams, and communities. In leadership, he prioritized empathy, encouragement, and shared purpose. These qualities weren't weaknesses. They were his greatest strengths. His unwavering commitment to service didn't diminish his ambition, it magnified it. His employees didn't just work for paychecks. They rallied behind a mission. His customers didn't just buy products. They aligned themselves with a purpose. So what about you? Align your ambitions with something greater than yourself. When your personal goals intersect with the needs of others, your work becomes richer, more meaningful, more lasting. Because success achieved at the expense of others is always fleeting. But success built through contribution, that kind of success is everlasting. And here's the truth. You don't need fame, wealth, or power to start serving. Service begins with something far more accessible: intention. It lives in the everyday, listening with presence, helping without being asked, mentoring someone who's lost their way, giving without expecting anything in return. These seemingly small acts, they ripple outward, and their impact can't be measured in dollars. It's measured in lives touched, hearts lifted, and communities strengthened. Service shapes character. It builds humility. It reminds you that the world is bigger than your goals, and that your life is richer when you live for something beyond yourself. Your greatest strengths are not meant to be hidden. They're meant to be shared. And as you begin to serve others with intention, something powerful happens. You refine your own sense of purpose. Your talents, your resources, your time, they stop being just tools for personal gain. They become instruments to uplift, to support, to inspire. You start to recognize that your energy holds real power when it's used to make someone else's path a little lighter. And along the way, you build something deeper than success. You build connection. People don't remember the titles you held or the wealth you earned nearly as much as they remember how you made them feel. They remember who cared, who showed up, who reached out when it mattered most. The bonds that are formed through genuine, heartfelt service are unbreakable. They carry you forward in ways ambition alone never could. Andrew Pollin understood this well. He never saw service as a form of charity. He saw it as a responsibility, as a calling. Through that lens, he didn't just build a profitable empire. He built something far greater, a legacy that transformed lives. His story is a reminder that the pursuit of greatness and the path of service are not in conflict. In fact, they are one and the same. True greatness flows through giving. So ask yourself each day, who can I serve today? How can my actions, no matter how small, make someone's life just a little bit better? When you begin to live from that mindset, everything changes. Obstacles turn into opportunities to contribute. Goals become missions that include others. And success becomes a shared experience, not a solo climb. Fulfillment doesn't live in what you gather. It lives in what you give. The world has a way of rewarding those who give freely, with open hands and full hearts. Because the most powerful form of success is the kind that lifts others as it rises. Let your life be a story of service. Let your legacy echo through the lives you've touched. Because in the end, those who give the most grow the most. And through service, you don't just build a career or a reputation. You build significance. Your potential is limitless. Take a moment to reflect on your dreams. Define clearly what success truly means to you, not just in what you achieve, but in who you become. Then commit fully to the journey of rebuilding yourself from the inside out. Don't wait. Start now. Take deliberate, purposeful action every single day. Because greatness belongs to those who chase it with courage, with resilience, and with relentless optimism. Your journey begins today. Rise, rebuild, and redefine your life. The power is already within you. Claim it and go create your extraordinary future. Wishing you strength, joy, and deep fulfillment on your path. Stay healthy, stay inspired, and don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more powerful content to guide your journey.